if we don't have the information, we can't pass the application because
Well, all
we
right.
need enough. So I just want that to be on the record that unless we have more time and more information from more people, we're not going to be able to really rule on this properly.
Okay, Lois, let's work on that. So you have a list of questions. Does any other commissioner have any questions of the applicant?
Keith, I have
Yep.
to interrupt because I just realized that this meeting has not been recorded.
I heard that. So now what do we do? Barbara, this is you.
This is a problem.
Did anybody record the meeting? Because sometimes people record them.
Anyone?
Ugh.
We got to do it again. Stay up until midnight.
Well, we could do that. We could do that. Or we could pick another night.
I would love to hear Mr. Dorenzo again. I just want to hear that one more time. It wasn't recorded. I'd like to go
I mean,
back and
I think
hear
I
some
would
of those
think
details.
I would think that if we chose to redo it, we maybe can cut some of the fat, right? Because there was quite a few topics that I think after hearing it may have not been so helpful. I don't know. It's the only thing I could say.
I mean, I suppose we can, it's up to the commission. We can schedule another special meeting. We can continue next week and then schedule another meeting after that, if
The other thing-
necessary. Obviously, we need to ask the applicant for some more time to extend the time for the public hearing. Right now, we have till November 19th.
No,
So here's an option. We could take like a 15-minute break, maybe go at it for 2 hours and see if we could catch up and that's, I'm just throwing it as a suggestion. I'm not making order. I'm not giving orders.
It's really up to the commission.
the
How you wanna
public hearing does not need to end until December 31st.
No, what I'm referring to, Donna, is the fact that right now we have an extension only until the 19th. So we
Right, okay,
need
sorry.
further consent from the applicant, which I'm just putting that out there. I don't expect that that's an issue, but I want to make sure that we're doing what we need to do.
For the
One thing-
record, Steve Finn,
Sorry.
the applicant will certainly consent to further extensions. So you don't have to worry about that, though. As Barbara's pointed out, Tree Schellenberg has pointed out, there is limited time left, and it may cut into your ability, your deliberation time. The more time we use up in extensions now to keep the public hearing open, the less extension time you'll have to finish your deliberations. But we're flexible and we'll do whatever the commission feels is best on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think one thing that we definitely want to do before, regardless of what we decide to do tonight, is Commissioner Spence has a list of questions. They should at least be asked, whether or not they're answered or not. They should be asked so that the applicant has time to address it, and hopefully that'll save us some time because they can do that when we're not in a meeting. And any other questions anybody may have or any clarifications. So if we do pick another time and not tonight, we hopefully save some time. So I guess it's up to the commission. So who wants to do it again tonight?
Keith, why don't you go around and ask each commissioner so it's on the record and it's clear what each commissioner wants to do.
All right, Commissioner Spence, what is your preference?
I think I'm kind of toasted myself. I would like to have another special meeting.
Okay, Commissioner Gingras?
I agree with Commissioner Spence. I'm just about done for tonight.
It's not gonna be, Commissioner Hall, we'll just ask everybody, just so we, Commissioner Hall?
I think it would be most effective if we had another meeting.
Okay, Commissioner Massaraco, you're so dark over there, I can't even see your face, so.
I'm here.
You're good.
Let's do another special session.
I know we won't even ask Jim. Okay, so we'll do another special meeting, but we'll have to get your questions out there as we wrap up this meeting. Do we actually, Donna, should we have actually stated just to like another, or does that not matter?
You're cutting out. I can't hear you. Go
Question
ahead.
is, should I start over at least the beginning part, commencing the meeting? Or what we're discussing right now, if it's not on the record?
Yes, please.
Okay,
And my deepest apologies.
that's all right. So how far should I go to that's where we everybody that's here and just stop at the mission statement? Or should I do the whole thing over?
Just, yeah, I mean, I would do the introduction to the meeting, what it was for, that it was a special meeting and that the commissioners that were present and that it was only for 64
I'll just
Cambridge.
start over I'll say whatever the time is right now. All right, good evening. My name is Keith Romano. I'd like to call this order. This is the Inland Wetlands Commission meeting for the town of Monroe. Today is November 12th, 2020, and the time is 9:33 p.m. The first order of business is the oh wait, I'm reading the wrong one. Oops. I'd like to take a roll call of the members of the commission staff meeting. Please answer her present, starting with myself, Keith Romano, Lois Spence, our vice chair and secretary.
Here.
Jim Stewart, our and licensed engineer and surveyor in the state of Connecticut.
Here.
Clark Gingras,
Here.
Ross Massaraco,
I'm here.
Paul,
Here.
Denise Halstead, who is an inland wetlands agent,
Here.
Donna Szynski, our office manager,
Here.
and Sarah Stroud, recording secretary. Barbara Schellenberger, our counsel. Also like to recognize, thank you. Also like to recognize Chris Sullivan from the Southwest Conservation District and
He left.
what's that?
He had to leave.
Oh, he had to leave. Okay, so, and then Russell DiRenzo, our I don't know what you call him. Our hired consultant. All right. So what we'll do is,
Hold
what
on
do
one second. Sarah, did your computer record any of this?
can't hear you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Maybe send her a.
She's not muted, but I can't even see her mouth move because of the way.
Yeah, I can kind of see it moving, but
Yeah, I can't hear her and there's nothing that I
I
can
just
do.
sent her.
So,
I just sent her a message. Maybe she gets it.
okay, she's telling us to hold on.
Maybe she's been telling us that for the past 15 minutes. I got it recorded.
I usually write a note saying hit record, because once everybody's on, you think, okay, you're recording. It doesn't. I can't even believe. I'm sick to my stomach right now.
Donna, if it makes you feel any better, it's happened
Can you hear
to
me?
us.
Can
Yes,
you hear me
Sarah.
now? Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with the computer. So yeah, normally I record everything, and tonight I got home late and I didn't set it up. I just figured I was gonna email you and ask for it. So
So,
Okay, thank you.
what I would suggest is, obviously we have to repeat this, as the chairman mentioned, maybe we all can think of ways to be more succinct. But in any event, I would suggest, since there is a regular meeting scheduled for November 18th, correct? That I assume everybody is available for, because everyone expected to have to be at that meeting, that we use that meeting as the opportunity to repeat what was done tonight. And then we can move on from there and perhaps schedule, if we need it, another special meeting before the December 9th meeting, right? The meeting in December is December 9th.
Yeah.
And with the hope then that we would be able to then close the public hearing on December 9th. Does that sound acceptable?
I was just gonna look at the agenda for next week. Did we?
Yeah, it's quite full.
Can't find it in my packet. Is it not on the first?
No, it wasn't in the first one, Keith, because it wasn't ready yet, but we've got,
Oh, so you're the only one who knows what the agenda is right now.
there's four public hearings and a regular hearing for next week.
I'm gonna have to,
Can I just interject something, Mr. Chairman, real quick? This is Steve Finn for the applicant. Sometimes, and again, I don't want to presume anything, but perhaps you could postpone some of those other matters that are currently scheduled for next week and try to clear the agenda as much as possible for us. Just a thought.
we could
Thank you.
also, thank you. I also could put my running shoes on again and try to move through it as fast as possible. So I guess, but I still want to do, before we close tonight, is again, those questions from Commissioner Spence, so that the applicant has time to think about them.
Okay, well, it's going to seem a little disjointed because they were collected and various times put on a piece
Yeah,
of
well,
paper.
whatever we could do, whatever we could
Okay.
do.
I would like to see a detailed timeline for each of the phases. What is happening, what is your plan to install the piping, what's your plan for, and your timing for all of the different events that are supposed to happen. oy. Hmm. The big one that I had in mind was an alternative concept. And that was, instead of running the pipe north and south, the re-watering pipe, I'll call it, north and south, to perhaps consider installing it at the far southern end of Wetland 2. And if that were to just discharge there with an energy dissipator, whatever it is, a forebay, whatever it is that we need to clean that water, would it be possible, and this is a question for all of our experts, would that possibly trickle down enough through Wetland 2 from that point to rehydrate the whole wetland without having to do any of the, well, not any of it, but would that contribute at all to rehydrating the wetland without that pipe going east and west? I mean, north and south, I'm sorry. Also, I don't know where this water is coming from. You're talking about pumping water and you've got details on a pump. So where's the pump? Where's the basins? How is the water being dealt with before it gets to the basin, before it goes into the pump? We can't just, I mean, I've seen some of that quarry water. It's not something you want to put in a wetland. This is a housekeeping issue. Kind of move all the wetland markers to the outer edge of all buffers, not the wetland edge themselves. Especially the wetland north of the building. I was wondering what the purpose of the building was, and when it would be installed, when it was planned to be built. I don't see a guardhouse, a weight house, anything. What's the plan for getting trucks in and out? And how are they being monitored? I don't see any kind of structure that would be in charge of that. How long would the perforated pipe pump be in use, if it happens at all? Could we have a dedicated pond instead of moving it around? It appears on the plans that there's different ponds in different places depending on where the fill is. Could we have a dedicated one perhaps on the southern end and keep all of the dehydrating on the 64 Cambridge site instead of having it partially on Independence Drive? Something that struck me was that we're using half of Independence Drive to rehydrate the property on 64 Cambridge. But as soon as you do any development on Independence Drive, all of that goes away. And we need to keep any remediation that we're doing for 64 Cambridge on 64 Cambridge. So I'm thinking that the new plan for regrading is maybe not the best. And you should go back to your original plan where you had almost all of the drainage, if not all of the drainage area coming from 64 Cambridge from the property line east, instead of putting it west into Independence Drive. Oh, I could go on all night.
I'll just say for the record, this is Kevin Soley. I love these questions, Lois. I would love to have you not go on all night, but please continue with your list because we can certainly provide a much more comprehensive, detailed response to all of this information, answer all of your concerns. So please don't stop if you're up for it and everyone else is okay with it.
By now their eyes are rolling back in their heads at this point.
Don't look at them. Don't look at them.
What material is to go above the impervious liner? Is it all supposed to be native topsoil? I would think that, excuse me, I would think that it is. We spoke about a conservation easement at some point or another, and you said it would come later on in the program. Well, guess where we are? Yeah, where is the scale house? Or I'm calling it a scale house for lack of better words. How you do have an entrance, or you did on one plan, you had trucks entering from Independence Drive. I was wondering how they would be checked. I would reiterate from all of the things that our experts have said, that it would probably be better to split this application into a remediation plan and a development plan. It makes it very, very difficult to try to do both at the same time. We need a narrative for all phases, and approximate timelines, as I said, within each phase. If you do use a clay liner, we'd need to know details on the thickness of this clay liner. Do we have any alternate development plans? And the two that you submitted were already impossible to do, so that doesn't make any sense to use them as legitimate alternatives. I got that. And the elevation of the perforated pipe, I'm not sure that that wasn't on the plan. It might already be on the plan. If we're going to do that. I had some others that I wanted to, but I need a plan to go up and to point it out. What water is it that goes to the town detention basin that's on Independence? And will any water be pumped there at any time? Oh my goodness, I wrote this so fast I can't read it. I'll have to come back with these questions when I know what I'm talking about. All of the erosion and sedimentation, I would like to see upgraded. Silt fence along that wetland too, I don't feel in my estimation is adequate. I would like to see at least wattles or silt stacks or something of that ilk.
Or lowest berms.
Lowest berms. Wow. I think that's all I can understand of my own writing right now.
All right, thank you, Lois. Just one thing I want to mention again, because we mentioned it earlier. Because I think now we've got a little bit of more defined or more focused. What am I trying to say here? So we have a better focus about what we have to, what our job here is. So if any of those questions which I know it looks like you had from before, if they're really just going to fall into the thing, we don't have to spend a lot of time on that particular.
You're dropping out a lot, Keith. We can't hear a thing you're saying.
Really? I don't know where my microphone is. Can you hear me?
On occasion,
okay.
Yeah.
I'll try again. So if any of those questions are going to end up falling P&Z because we have a better focus of what our job is here, just, you could address it that way. We don't want to waste a lot of time. And then the other thing is I'm thinking if we can get the minutes quicker than normal, like if we get the minutes out to everybody, then we can almost have like the dialogue for place this tonight's meeting. We're still going to have the minutes, correct? That's a question obviously for Sarah.
Well, the way I correct the minutes is by listening to the recording.
No, but who writes them?
Sarah produced
so,
yeah.
But she doesn't have, we don't get minutes tonight. There's no way.
Well,
So she doesn't.
I mean, this really, most of this meeting was not an official meeting. So.
Well, my point was being, I didn't know so she writes the minutes from the recording. We have no recording. I don't know if she takes like notes. And that way I was just thinking it'd be a way for everybody to have an outline and we'll be able to move right through this replacement. Everybody know what they said. Forget about it. Now,
I think people could certainly write down notes that would be useful for next time, but it seems to me, and it's something I can look into, but it seems to me that the official minutes are going to be for the official part of the meeting, which is only a very short portion of the evening.
Right, so no written record of the first 2 hours. Okay, all right, so I guess are we done? Is there anything else that we think we should try to accomplish while we're here right now that's going to help?
Who are you asking?
Anybody. Like
Oh.
anybody has any comment that would, to help us get through the next meeting. But that's, if we don't have anything to say, I guess it's time to adjourn.
If I may, I just think, Kevin Soley again for the record, I think what also would be beneficial is having Russ to provide his kind of his summary of his review in advance of the next hearing will also probably help streamline his presentation for the commission and for the public and the intervener.
Okay. All right. Anybody want to make a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Got a motion from Commissioner Stewart. Got a second?
Second.
Second for Commissioner Gingras. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, this meeting adjourns at 9:52 p.m.